Many intellectual creatives are making a name for themselves by formulating their own businesses, which stamps their brand into the face of the eyes of the world. Here lies a queen forging a path for her people, where artists and creatives take ownership of their identity and truly birth their art. Please welcome CEO and founder of Own Being Unique Enterprises, Myrhanda McDaniels.
Hello, hello.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. We're going to jump straight into it. So, tell us about Own Being Unique.
Own Being Unique is an organization that was created literally out of my womb. I had been back and forth between what this business was going to be for years. And one of the things that I noticed that was important for me is allowing creatives, because I'm a creative, right? So
Right.
allowing creatives to have a platform where other individuals can hear their voices. Because many times we see or run into individuals who make it to a certain level or a certain plateau, and a lot of times they don't reach back. And so
Right.
I desire to create this organization to be that reach back for my community and for my people.
That sounds good. When it came to shifting the dynamic uh, from looking for a job
Mm-hmm.
before the pandemic
Yeah.
into going into business ownership, what was that transition like for you?
Well, I would say, nobody wants to, in my opinion, nobody wants to be in a position where they're constantly looking for work. And so prior to the pandemic happening, I actually was in a position where I was teaching preschool. And I absolutely loved my job. But the only thing that I did not like is being held by the constructs of the corporate environment. And so I always found that I would reach a certain level of growth within the environments that I was in. But once I made it up here, it was like nobody could, pour into me anymore. Not that I wasn't willing to be poured into, but it was just that I learned everything that I could learn in those environments. And so it was time for me to step out and branch into something new and something different. So truly for me, the pandemic, though it was a very detrimental situation that happened globally, and my heart goes out to individuals who did lose individuals because of what took place. For me personally, it was a blessing in disguise because I was always wanting to step into having my own and operating in my own entity. And so because I was tied down to these corporate environments, I really didn't have the motivational push to step into operating my own. And so I was actually furloughed from my job. So it literally was a blessing for me to be able to step into Own Being Unique. And literally, I had to become the business,
Okay.
and OBU simply stands for Own Being Unique. So I had to, in fact, take ownership of my uniqueness and operate in it. And so I'm doing that. And it's a blessing to be able to, like I said before, create a platform for others to do the same.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Were there any signs that this move was the most significant and best move for you to make?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, in these environments that was previously in, like I said, I would reach a certain plateau of expertise and literally there was nothing else being poured into me. And so um just knowing that I always was eager and I am always eager to learn more and grow more. That really was a push for me. And I will also say that I experienced friction in a lot of the environments that I was in, because people recognize the light that's within us.
Right.
Granted, we're sparkly.
True.
We glow,
True. True.
and so it's challenging, for that light to be dim. So if I'm
Right.
working for somebody who went to school for whatever it is that they're in their field for, but I'm surpassing them and they see that, you know, a certain level of friction sometimes arises in those environments. And so that for me happened more than once in a lot of the areas that I was in. It happened for me, and seeing that take place repetitiously, seeing that cycle just step into your own thing and stop, So yeah, so that friction is one of those things that I saw that was like, it's time.
Okay. Moving forward and progressing beyond COVID 19
Mm-hmm.
and its effect on how we navigate, especially as artists in the entrepreneurial world. What's it like for you when you have to adjust from how it was as an artist looking for a job to now providing opportunities for
Yeah.
others?
Well, it's a big shift, but it's a wonderful shift. And the reason why it's wonderful for me is because I have a passion for giving back. I have a passion for helping other people. And again, I wanted to create something that I needed for myself. So creating this platform was really like a release for me, and also a beautiful dynamic that was created to help benefit the lives of other individuals. And the fact that I don't necessarily have to go out and look for a job anymore. And now I'm in a place where I can create, either job opportunities for others, or opportunities where others can hear about the multitude of creators that are out there. It's a blessed feeling. My background is in dance education. And
Okay.
so I am one of those creatives who had to go to auditions if I wanted to be casted in the show and all of these things. And so creating OBU has definitely shifted my dynamic so that I don't necessarily have to go and audition for places. I mean,
Okay.
that would be a great, thing to do, but now I can audition for myself.
Right, right. Now, coming from a background of performing arts
Yeah.
and dance education, how did you tap into that new creative energy where you're assisting creatives and artists in formulating their own pathways?
How did I tap into that new creative energy? I believe that saying that you have what you need within you. And I think that I've had a lot of these things, not even I think, I've had a lot of these things brewing within me for years and years. But because I spent so much time putting out for other organizations and making sure that other people, were striving and thriving in their industries, I felt that I was depleted in a lot of ways. So it's like I poured out all of this and I got nothing in return except for what I gave myself, or what, family members and motivational advocates poured into me. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I, what was the end of that question again?
I was just asking, how did you tap into the new creative energy where you're
Yeah.
assisting creative artists and getting their vision out to the world?
I think it's also important, like to tie into what I was just saying. I think it's also important that we have this community aspect. So
Okay.
knowing that I love to help people and I have a heart for people really was at the core and is at the core of my heartstrings. And so I needed somebody to, prick those heartstrings. And
Okay.
the individuals that prick those heartstrings are the creatives that I come in contact with.
Okay, I understand.
So that's where I get the creative energy from, knowing that, I had all of this inside of me.
Right.
And two, I have the ability to help someone, experience a life of greater by gaining exposure in ways that they wouldn't prior to meeting me or being with me.
Now, what is OBU?
OBU again stands for own being unique. I think that that in itself is profound. And the crazy thing is, I always thought that OBU was going to be a dance school because, like I said, my background is in dance education. And the more and more I grow, and the more I learn, and the more people I come in contact with, a lot of those things are shifting. And that doesn't mean that dance is not a part of who I am, or that doesn't mean that dance will never be a part of OBU. But yeah. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so like OBU, just taking ownership of who you are. I think it's important for us to take ownership of who we are, because in many cases we're in environments where somebody else owns the organization.
Right.
Right? And we come in and we make their organization greater. And a lot of times, like I said, I felt depleted. I felt used and abused. So it's like, what do I get out of this? And so taking back my power and allowing myself to be like, you know what, I have the capability to do these things and do it far far greater. Not to compare or contrast, but I know who I am. Like I said, I sparkle. So knowing that I have this glowing aura, I have to make sure that I operate in who I am as a righteous queen, because I am, and
Right.
really utilize my
Definitely.
uniqueness to my best advantage.
Okay. Okay. Now, what services does OBU specialize
So we have partnered with our sister company, Reading is Fundamental, to
in? Okay.
bring forth the Fam Collective magazine. And this magazine is a great outlook on what's going on in our environment. We have a lot of creatives that are doing great things, and some people know about them, but we want a lot more people to know about them. And so what we did was we highlighted 10 female entrepreneurs, and we interviewed them. We got to know a little bit more about them. And the beauty of this is that it serves the parents that we provide. So
Okay.
that's one aspect of what we do here at OBU. And then the other piece of it, as I stated briefly before, is that we have created this platform to highlight other creatives. So other people that are like me, other people that are like you, who may not have an opportunity for, the masses to hear about what they're doing. We have created a space solely for
Profound. Profound.
them.
How does it feel to create a platform that establishes a means to help creatives connect to different audiences
Yeah.
and business owners to further help and push the market on their behalf?
Hmm. How does that feel? It's overwhelming because it's a huge responsibility that is laid upon my shoulders, knowing that we have created something that is going to help inspire someone else. We have created something that is, I would like to say, a gateway or even a bridge for a creative to make it from one point of their career to the next point of their career. And we literally are connecting the dots for them. I know it can be challenging for entrepreneurs who are starting out to know where to start, to know where to begin. And so, because we have created OBU, we're giving them a space to say, hey, here's where you can start. And guess what? We have created something, a blueprint or a guideline to help you. And so it's a beautiful feeling to know that I have been blessed by the Creator with this amazing responsibility to help pour into the lives of others. And it excites me to know that we are giving them a space for them to market themselves,
I see.
without the constraints of other people dictating how it should be done. They are the vocal piece to how everything is manifested within their destiny and their purpose through working with us.
True. So now, moving forward,
Yeah.
where can the people go to find out more about On Being?
Right now, if you are interested in finding out more about Own Being Unique Enterprises, you can definitely go to our Instagram page at Own Being Unique Enterprises. Or if you don't want to reach out that way, you can definitely shoot us a quick email at ownbeinguniqueenterprises at protonmail.com. Let us know how you heard about us. Let us know what it is that you're looking for us to provide for you, and one of our Own Being Unique representatives will definitely be in contact with you.
Okay, well, that's great to know that we can reach out to you, get the feedback that we need to propel our careers and put us on that safe journey of entrepreneurship. Now, this concludes our expose of one of today's most groundbreaking Black-owned businesses to grace their presence to the people. Until next time, yours truly, Lyfes Essence, signing out for OBU Enterprise.